Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reefs. On today's episode, I'm going to take you through ARC Aquariums in Sydney, one of my absolute favourite stores in the country. Alright guys, thank you for joining me on another episode of Parker's Reefs, and thank you so much for following along with my journey, where recently I flew out to Sydney in Australia to go to Reef Stock Australia there, and of course I could not help but find just a fraction of time in my calendar to sneak out to a couple of stores just before I had to jump on a plane and fly back home again. And there was no way known I was going to visit Sydney without visiting ARC Aquariums, because to be honest, it's probably one of my favourite places to go for frags, particularly SBS frags, but frags in general in the country. Not because they have the most exquisite frag you've ever seen, although they're pretty close to it, but just because of the raw variety, the volume, and absolutely the pricing of their corals there is something that you have to see to believe. So whilst I didn't have my full bevy of camera equipment with me, I took what I could down to ARC Aquarium so I could get some footage for you guys to check it out before, of course, heading in store yourself and picking up a heap of these corals. So let's roll the footage. Alright, here we are at ARC Aquariums in Sydney, and I have to say, whenever in Sydney, regardless of how little time or what little camera equipment I brought with me, I always try to make it into this store because Eric, Michelle, Kevin, the whole team, there's a real family atmosphere in this store, and they just have some absolutely to die for corals, along with a really cool approach to some dry goods. So I couldn't help but bring you in and check out all of the stock here. Instantly you're greeted with this beautiful freshwater display that acts, I was going to say is a peninsula, but it's more of a room divider. I'm not going to spend too long looking at that because as soon as we get past that, you can see the numero uno. This is the premium frags section, and I'm just going to pop a filter on the camera so you can have a good look at these here, lit up by some Kessel AP9Xs, so you can see all of the colors in their best format. And one thing I should point out, that these, despite being their premium frags, and when you get a close look, they are absolutely premium. Have a look at the price, $65 Australian each, 3 for 180 or 5 for 250. We're talking $50 Australian each for some highly desirable, well-grown in, healthy frags. And have a look at the explosion of color in here. There's so many that unfortunately just didn't come up on the camera equipment I had with me on the day, but I'm sure you can appreciate some of the colors on here. Have a look at some of the beach bum monties there, some beautiful bird's nests, some absolutely cracking montiporas in there, including some of the green and red grafted with yellow polyps. Can you believe they're in the $65 section? Have a look at them all sitting there. If I was a Sydney slider, I would be grabbing one of each of these because there's some absolutely incredible pieces. A good assortment there of some rainbow monty as well, some red caps, some beautiful, looks like Aspera frags, or maybe Miliopora. Of course, no shortage of acro frags, from some fireworks to some green stags, blue stags, some lovely pink pieces there. Have a look at how bright the greens are on some of these pieces down here. I'm going to pan down and see if we can get a better look at what species they are. But I'm sure you can all agree they're absolutely to die for corals in here, and you can see the majority of these are that well encrusted. They're actually grown around the tile, so you know you're going to pick up something good. You see on the glass there, PC Rainbow, usually ridiculously priced pieces that come in here at ARC Aquariums at an absolute steal. And the team do also like to do some bundle deals. I know people out there have bought a whole swag of corals from the team here, and Eric and Kevin and Michelle and everyone else working at ARC are always super helpful and willing to make sure that you get the best corals in your tank for the best price. But moving on to the recently reset display here, check out this tank's running some Kessels as well as some Radions. We're going to have a closer look at some of these Radion deflectors, or I guess shutters, if I like a better word, soon. But have a look at this tank here. This one, Eric didn't want me to film it because he said it has just recently been rebooted, but check out this customized frag rack down here with some of the juiciest corals on there. Some Liripes, some nice Monties, some beautiful Acros and Millies in there. I love the way it just spells out ARC, so you can see all of their favorite pieces, but there's also some beautiful colonies in there, and I love the way they've layered those Monteporas there in just this tier stairway to heaven almost as you go up there. Some beautiful fish in there. Check out that big healthy orange shoulder, some nice blue tangs. Check out this lovely octopus down here that's been encrusted over with what I think is a Samacora. Beautiful piece. He's just got that little bit on the head to go, and he'll be all the way there. See some chromis, some clowns, of course, and you know, a good bevy of little acro frags stuck all over the rockwork there. Big blue face angel, I think, as well, which is typically not reef safe, but he's doing fine in there. Interesting to see a Tunzi wave box on this tank. Not something you see every day, but they are super effective at getting the flow through your tank. And you can see the engine room back here. There's something of absolute interest I want to share with you. Right here we can see two Neptune Apex Tridents, one running the factory reagent, one running an aftermarket reagent. So the team here are doing the R&D, comparing the two reagents on the same tank, so they can give you their honest opinion on which one's the go. Good assortment here of the lighting in this section of the store. There's lots more dry goods to cover, but we've got Radians, we've got Kessels, we've got AIs, we've got all of the brands you'd want, plus all of their mounting options. And then we come across to another tank here, which has got a little bit of a mixture of some colonies and some frags. Check out this guy down here, just making sure no one puts his hand in the tank and helps themselves. So that orange Leptocerus is absolutely gorgeous. Some big pallies in there, some lovely, I think they're dendros up there, non-photosynthetic corals up there just hanging from the top. There's some beautiful Zoa rocks in there. I love these. I think these are the green Pavona colonies, the ones that sort of look like, I don't know, as if someone had made a taco out of some lettuce or something. Just awesome little colonies, not expensive either. There's a beautiful big green Hero Turbinara up the back there. Really cool to see. I do love those Hero Turbinaras and plenty of other things, but we can't be staring at them all day. One other thing I did want to show you in this section of the store, though, is these three containers here, which is the Reef Alchemy collection from ARC Aquariums. Basically their take on a 3-part dosing solution with all of the trace elements added. They have it on tap here, so you can buy your containers and then come in and refill them, which I thought was a super cool idea. Now, there was another freshwater tank here. In fact, there's quite a few. ARC Aquariums, of course, are both freshwater and marine. I know nothing about freshwater, but the number of cool stingrays in this tank here, yes, obviously freshwater stingrays, but seeing so many of them swim around in this tank was super cool to see. A beautiful Red Sea tank there with all of these stingrays in there. Beautiful piece of bonsai wood up there on the counter. Another little, I think this is a fluval flex by the sort of bow front on the tank there with some guppies in there. Cool little aquascape. Cool system. But we'll have a quick run through some of the dry goods over here. And it's going to pan out, which hopefully we can fit everything in, because we've got quite a lot of content in quite a narrow space here. You can see a huge assortment of test kits here. Particularly interested for those who run Mastertronics out there, because you can see ARC do carry a good assortment of all of the reagents that are used there. Awesome Fauna Marine, Dr. Tim's, Seachem. I do like to see things like this down the bottom where you've got a huge assortment of John Guest tubing and stuff there. So there's John Guest tubing and fittings if you want to set up auto water changes or just plumb your ATO a bit further. Here's some more of the Reef Alchemy that I was touching on before. So we've got there's a 4-part system there. You got a 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can get those in big bottles, small bottles, and then obviously refill them in store. You can see a huge assortment of canister filters, power heads, all sorts of bits and pieces in this section here. We've got a great assortment of heaters there. And over here is what I touched on before about the 3D printed Radion shrouds or deflectors, I guess. These are actually magnetically attached, just like the Kessel ones. And you can see the team that print these have a huge assortment of other bits and pieces there, including some NEM guards for Gaias. You got little it looks like frozen food feeders there that just clip onto your tank, some media holders, of course MP 60, 40 and 10 beautiful printed NEM guards, some media holders there, little feeding ports, all sorts of bits and pieces there, which I thought were really highly quality prints, which is key. I think a lot of people out there now can pick up a printer and grab an STL file and print it out, but it does take a special kind of person to be able to get a high quality print, and team at ARC are selling nothing but the best there. Over here in this corner, we've got the Reef Pure RO selection, so all of the items here from Reef Pure RO, so you can set your RO up
exactly the way you need it to get absolute optimum results, including all of those little odds and ends that you need for that perfect situation. Now we're going to keep on moving. You see 2 spin touches on the counter there, so you don't even have to wait if someone else is doing a test. Team are dedicated to giving you good quality results as fast as possible. Heaps of freshwater items here, from little breeding caves and ornaments and things like that, onto some live plants, but we're probably going to skip past those. Let the staff member through because we don't want to get in the way. To the left there, you can see the water filling station, so you can bring in your containers, get the RO and salt water there. Got a beautiful assortment here of some freshwater plants, and I think we got mollies or guppies in there, something like that. I don't know, my freshwater stuff. I did see some CO2 bottles on the floor there, super handy for those of us who run calcium reactors, not just freshwater guys. And you can see here you got a huge assortment of freshwater fish, both cold and tropical. I'm not going to go into too much detail there, but I do love these big tubs of goldfish in here because it's just a cool way, particularly for the younger members of the family, to really have a good look at these fish. Let's head on over this way because the frags we saw at the start are not the start and end of the coral situation at ARC. In fact, it's only just the tip of the iceberg. You can see even more freshwater fish here, but I'm not going to go in there. You'll have to follow a freshwater channel to get the info there. Let's have a look at the first of many coral bays here. This one's got a great assortment of soft corals and some real beginner-friendly corals in here. Have a look at all of the leathers in here. Beautiful pieces, a big assortment of fungias down the bottom as well. I can see some clove polyps. I can see some zoas, some pallies there, the big toxic green pallies. Really nicely priced as well. So if you're looking to deck your tank out with a splash of colour, it's very easy to do so. Check out the trigger just guarding this beautiful tank here. It's got some lovely morphs in here, but when you have a look down the bottom, have a look at the recordias. These guys unfortunately do not fit into the $65 premium frag section, but damn, there is some bright recordia in there. Beautiful Yuma recordias. You see, look at that red and green one there. Bright red ring on it with a green center. Absolutely stunning. And there's a few other pieces in there as well. Over to the right here, we can see some really nice, looks like some elephant ears and some green rhodactis, some fluffy morphs. There's some Supermans. Good assortment of morphs for all tastes in there, and again, not expensively priced. But let's have a look at the other side of the soft coral tank here, because I've spotted some star polyps, some basic colored bubble corals. Got some big xenia colonies there, $35. So for those people out there that are wanting to get some flow and movement in their tank with a very easy to keep coral, you can't go past that. And then have a look at those A-grade galaxias up there. Beautiful. And then down here, I think, I'm not actually sure what species they are, but maybe the one in the middle is a Samacora, but some cool corals there. Got some beautiful lobos over there and even more leathers. But we might just scroll on over to the next coral tank, because this one's got stuff that people maybe, for watching this channel, maybe a touch more interested in. There's a great assortment in here. We're going to start over in the corner with this lovely lobo and goni section. Then there's no shortage of torches there, some acans, some bright orange fungias. Heaps and heaps of pieces. We move on to some hammers, elegance, more fungias. Let's have a look from the top down if we can. Have a look at some of the blastos there. Beautiful, beautiful coloured pieces. There's even a little saltwater acclimated molly in there, just making sure the algae is kept at bay. There's another one there. Just swimming around the tank, which is pretty cool to see. Check out the lobo down there in the corner. That yellow, burgundy and green one's absolutely stunning. But let's see what else we can find. Those torches are very nice indeed. The acans are great. Oh, I do like these candy canes up here. They're not just your solid toxic. They're a toxic with a bit of a stripe through it, which is something I haven't seen before. Another coral I would absolutely pick up if I was here. And we're talking $10 a polyp, so not expensive at all. A nice little colony of 3 heads is going to be $30 Australian. Absolutely nothing at all. Got some frog spawns over here, which I probably need to get into the frog spawns a bit more. There's some beauties in here. Of course, there's some plainish coloured ones as well, but there's some absolute showpieces in there. Got some cocoa worms, a little white glove shrimp in there, just keeping all the pests at bay, making sure the corals are nice and clean. We've got some dash in the corner there. Then we go into some torches, Duncans. Have a look at this big showpiece hammer here. Beautiful big mottled or blotchy hammer. The green on it is, I'm not going to say it's yellow, but it's a very nice lime green indeed. And then you come down to some smaller frags of hammers and torches here. You can see the prices on screen there. They obviously vary from the size of the piece and the color of the piece, but Very nice indeed. You got some sun corals, some clams there. Some more. Have a look at this beautiful pastel hammer here. We'll have a look from the top. It's got a beautiful sort of marbling through it with yellows and pinks and blues through it. Very nice indeed. Again, doing the best I can with the camera equipment I had with me on the day, but you just have to take my word that it is an absolutely stunning coral. Have a look at some of these green pieces, orange pieces, reverses. Beautiful hammers indeed. There's a molly there just come up to the surface to have a look at the camera. Pretty cool little fish, I have to say, to see just swimming about a coral tank. But there he goes. He's not too shy either. But let's get back to the corals. That's the important thing right here. And some of these are absolutely massive, as well as being very, very bright indeed. The nice solid green there in the corner. A good assortment of different shades of green too. You just get that real contrast happening. We'll swing on over to this bay here, which has what ARC are proudly claiming as cheapest frags in Australia. $25 each, or 5 for 100. That is Australian dollars. And I think for a retail application with the quality of frags they are, they're probably not wrong. $25 if you buy one at a time. There's another molly in there, is about as cheap as it gets. And I got to say, these are not brown corals. These are very nicely coloured, healthy grown frags in here, and there's a huge assortment to pick from. So I don't think anyone's going to have too much trouble picking 5 out of here. In fact, I think it'd be more a question of how many multiples of 5 you're going to pick. There's some beautiful pieces in there from some purple stylo, which is something that I've been looking for a little while. Some nice variants of different birds' nests and pieces in there. Have a look at the Dallas in there, which is what we call in Australia. It's our variant of a green staghorn that used to be so common. You can see some of the mother colonies there, but for whatever reason is not that common anymore. So people are very desperately chasing for it, and you can buy no shortage of frags of it here for $25 a piece. You see the inland saw there where all the fragging takes place. Team keep busy ensuring that this frag tank is always full, and you can see some of the pieces that are just been cut recently here. These ones, I'm sure you probably could buy them, but they're probably not the ones that the team are looking to sell. We move on over to these ones where they're nicely encrusted. Have a look at these purple stylos. There's some more of the Dallas. Beautiful color variants there. Looks like we got a nice little green variant there of a pokey or stylo. I think that's a pokey, that one. In fact, quite a few variants of pokies there. Good, easy to frag, fast-growing coral. Have a look at some of the big green bird's nest pieces here that need to be sorted out. And then in this section here, I think these frags are not part of the $25 each. These are some corals that are being held for a customer, or maybe even one of the collectives that were down for Reef Stock Australia. But I think they did just come from the $65 premium frag section up the top. We'll head on over here because there's even more over in this corner, including a great assortment of live rock here. You can see it's a Western Australian live rock, $29.95 a kilo. Some beautiful shapes in there and some super big pieces too for instant escapes. Heading on down to the next tank here, we've got a good assortment of nems in here, including this beautiful, I think that's a sticky nem or a pizza nem. Kind of showing my inexperience there, but a beautiful green piece nonetheless. And there's some massive magnificas, I think, in there. Some more live rock. Heading on down here, we've got a cool assortment of different morphs that real easy way for people to pick up some color and some easy to keep corals in their tanks, including some massive fluffies in there. See a sorted Rhodactis up there, priced to sell. Blues, greens, reds, all of the options from a Rhodactis to a morph collection there, and the prices there are quite cheap, $25 each or 5 for 100. Easy way to get some basic corals in your tank. And I'm not going to go through all of the fish because the team were fairly light on their fish stocks on the day, but one tank I did want to show you was I've been touching on the saltwater acclimated mollies throughout all of their coral tanks. They actually sell them in store here. They've done the work to acclimate them to saltwater for you. Less than $20 Australian for a pretty cool little hardy addition to your tank, which I thought was pretty cool. And then we've got some more fish in here. These guys just making sure that everyone knows there are some dangerous fish in there. But let's head on over this way. I'll take the filter off the camera just so I can show you a little bit more of the dry goods that the team carry on stock, because obviously being such a frag centric and minded store, they have no shortage of frag solutions from all sorts of different types of frag tiles and plates and stands and glues. Everything one could want, including these Fraggle circles or donuts that were featured at Reef Stock Australia, which were really cool for mini-maxis. They also carry the inland coral saws, which I have done a review on if you want to check that out. Awesome for getting super clean cuts on all of your fragging requirements. Huge selection there, all individually available or in groups, of course. Great selection of things there, but there's even more upstairs, which I just want to show you quickly. Plus, it gives a pretty cool little view of the rest of the store. But upstairs here is freshly fitted out. The team have now kitted this out as a beautiful display area. At the moment, it's housing a lot of dry tanks. So if you're looking to set up a tank, you can come up here and see what all the different options look like in person, rather than looking at pictures in a brochure. But like I touched on, you do get a fantastic top-down view from up here, and it's really cool when the store's absolutely buzzing to have a look down here and see everyone looking through all of the coral bays, which I think is a pretty cool thing to see. Plus, you can see all the plants and goldfish and things there. But let's have a quick pan around here, because did just want to give you a quick look through some of the dry goods and tanks here. We've even got some frag racks in display on the Reef Sis 255. Got some more Aqua 1 tanks here, and over on the left, you've even got a pond selection. So we've got big pond pumps and filters, things there. If you want to get some water underwater pets happening in your backyard, I'm sure the team here at ARC can help you out. You see no shortage of different size of tanks here, a good assortment from Aqua 1. Some of their ready-to-go systems for both freshwater and saltwater. Even got a little bar over there in the corner, which is pretty cool. And then there is just one more coral tank hiding over here behind these bonsai woods, which is just holding a small spillover of some of the corals the team have. I'll just quickly pop a filter on the tank and we'll have a very, very quick look at that before wrapping this video up. You see they've got some more hammers and torches and pieces in here. This one, it looks like a spot where they can just quickly pop some excess deliveries while they work out where they're going to put them in store. But all in all, I think that fairly comprehensively covers ARC in Sydney.
Alright guys, there you have it. That is the store tour of ARC Aquariums. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did enjoy filming it, and I can promise you that I will be back up there again soon with some much better camera equipment so I can really get you guys some footage to showcase just how amazing this store is. I'd love to thank Eric, Michelle and Kevin and all of the team for letting me in and always making me feel as welcome as they do. Every time I visit this store, and I'm sure it's not just me, it seems to be every customer that goes in there gets treated like an absolute member of the family, and it just adds to the incredible atmosphere that ARC Aquariums have. Anyway guys, I should wrap the video up there. I do still have some more footage to come from Reef Stock Australia, including a couple more vendor interviews, as well as another store tour as well. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that footage, be sure to subscribe in the bottom corner. And of course, if you did enjoy the video, consider giving it a thumbs up to let me know that I am on the right track. Other than that, if you've got any questions or comments for myself or the team at ARC Aquariums, pop it in the comment section down below, because I do personally reply to each and every comment there. Anyway guys, enough from me. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, stay safe, keep reefing. Cheers, bye.